This is your daily market recap for Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review. Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Well, today, in my opinion, was the blow-off. We talked about the straight line action potentially getting very stretchy, meaning pulled in one direction extremely, and I think you're going to get the first pullback. Now remember, first pullback will be probably a pop at some point, but this pullback could be more aggressive because of what? The strength, the power, the straight line movedness, if that's a word, of this whole move. Because again, there was no support built along the way. It was all short covering, panic buying, short covering, panic buying. There's no support zones. There's no levels of particular support where buyers and sellers were tested and then we went higher. So again, we'll go into the evidence. We'll show you why we think this is going to happen and how to play it. Again, a lot of trade setups that we posted on either Twitter, the Discord room. Whew. Again, today's bond auction, absolutely disaster. Things that are not healthy about the economy. When nobody is buying our 30-year debt, that's a problem. Feds are going to have to backstop at some point. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, Discord room, a link is in the description below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you in the live chats. Didn't do one today. Got a little busy. Maybe try to do one tomorrow, but hopefully, again, lots of content here. Back to Basics series, education, everything. So much. Also on our website, thetradingagent.com here, the Back to Basics, get your markets 5.4%. Use the promotion code. Tell me if you use this stuff. I'm genuinely curious. And also the interactive brokers. Please, for the love of God, do not have all your money stuck in one place or one brokerage, because I'm telling you, I think there's going to be some that end up going south. All right, Fed Watch tool. I'm curious if this has changed since yesterday. Yeah, it always defaults. Like right now, May. Yep. May, right? May's pausing. I guess, yeah. It's back to pause. I mean, I think this was at 40%. We'll see. Again, not that important at this point. Bitcoin. We hit channel highs. You're welcome. I posted this on Twitter. I was like, Now, a little late, but after you stretch it out, you look at it and go, gosh, darn it. That looks like a straight line blow off to channel high. See what happens. Oil. Pulling back, we talked about once it gets under the 70s, could be a problem. Now, could it be a trap back and pop up to 81? Always possible. But again, if the market is anticipating what? Demand destruction, recession, liquidity out, QE replace, like pullback, I'm telling you, be careful. Even Bitcoin could get knocked around. Natural gas, again, we're showing how like even all the commodities are starting to look weak. Are you paying attention? Well, why is that? Well, we've talked about it. The dollar, senior dollar being the best turd in the toilet, floating to the top out of all currencies. Now, keep in mind, we do have potential debt ceiling stuff next week coming to a head. I mean, I just keep writing that in my brain that they have to, I think next week, I remember the 15th or 17th, I can't remember what date, but they have to figure it out. They'll probably kick the can down the road, but the dollar's holding up. TLT, we said, please be careful with it. Please, I got so many people going, oh, you're dead wrong. I'm like, whoa, man, that's some big volume. Hits the range and fails. Bond auction issues are a problem. VIX, we said it's an absolute gift down here. Steal. Got down to 14s. You're welcome. Now let's talk about the SPSI, right? Talked about getting up into this like circle. I mean, you got there good enough for government work. Now that's an engulfing bar. What do we say? Watch the 431. I don't know. I mean, somebody did say the 200, and if it happens, if it's Harry's right dead on, I'll give him credit for it. Probably gap fill and maybe chop around early next week, right? Like SPY, gap fill, and chop. Or do we have to go down to the 20-day? Either way, we expect a pullback, and it's either a couple days of just like chop back. And I don't know if we'll even get up to the channel high, but chop back or down quick, rally back, then flop. Just keep that in mind. Just That formation to me seems very likely at some point. Because again, remember, we get straight line moves up. You get people really chasing. You get people super excited. QQQ, we hit our max upside target zone, left-right combo. I would probably take us right back to this 360 area. That makes sense. Makes dollars make sense. That's where I would think the first bounce would probably be. We said IWM was struggling. I mean, honestly, this has struggled way more. I thought we'd get a little higher, and maybe even the 50-day. IWM looks like crap. DIA, I know Disney was up today. They're in the Dow still, correct? Am I that old? I don't remember. Either way, I mean, give back the gains. I'd watch it. I mean, again, watch some lower prices. Gold, we talked about it breaking out of the upper bound that it was holding in. 20-day. Again, I don't like crypto. I don't like silver. I don't like gold until the Feds pivot. We're not at the pivot point yet. They're pulling liquidity out. Silver, same thing. GDX, we said, leading down. And these things had some decent pops today. Gave it all back. They're all liquidity plays, and I scream and I yell gently. Be careful. Again, trade around this stuff, but don't trust it. GDXJ looks the same. Look at AG, close at the low of the day. Ugh. AEM, holding up better. Again, the one names that hold up better should show us over time which ones to buy. Newmont, turd. Look out below. PAAS, after yesterday's big slammer jamma. Doge. Okay. Taiwan Semi, now here we go. This is what gets interesting. We talk about the semiconductors acting nuts. Some of them, right? Look at that. Outside touch, close below yesterday's low. That's bearish. Micron. Holy shiitake. Look where it got to. The exact top of our blue range. Exact top. Again, I didn't short this, but I know people were. Look at that candle. That is a novice gap with a big ass dragonfly doji. Bearish. AM Dizzle. Takes out the highs, hits the gap fill, all these little areas, and then it hammers. Keep an eye on it. Look at NVIDIA. Look at this. Look at these little fun with trend lines. Hits it. I drew these today, and I was like, just curious. And then it hit. That was the exact high. I mean, again, it's all luck. I'm not going to sit here and go with skill. Again, it's after the fact. I drew it. But we started shorting today because it's a novice gap. Looking good. Intellectual property. Intel Corp. We talked about filling the gap. Any pop? Yeah, you got to pop at 38.52. Boom. Slam a jamma. SMH said we're probably going to get back into this blue zone within the circle. Dunsky. Look at that long-ass wick. High volume. Look at this crappy rise on light volume. Now you got it. Adobes. Said watch what happens up here as the channel started forming. Like, could it fail? Looking good. Apple said posted this 2-day range. Like, look what happens when it got over it, then it gave it right back. We'll see what happens here. Apple could roll. And Amazon. Some folks took a short. Hell yeah. Makes sense. Filled the gap. I mean, I guess technically didn't fill the gap. Sorry. Touched an old gap. That's an old gap. Sorry. Whatever. This blue zone. Could it get up a little higher? Maybe. Looking good. CRM, we said watch how it plays with the channel. Literally hits the channel. Doink. Now, again, sometimes it's perfect, sometimes it's not. That's the problem here. Right? What do we say? Guggenheim, watch the 20-day. 2-day range, took a little short yesterday, added bigger today. Looking good. Metas, look at this. Getting close to the highs. Keep an eye on it. Microsoft, straight line move. These things have just went nuts. Keep it like they're due to pull back. NDAQ. Man, we did get to 52 today. Yeah, 2 range. I mean, yeah, probably should have shorted that. MicroStrategy, and with Bitcoin ripping. Look at today's candle. That looks like a novice gap trap. Doji. Now, again, I'm not shorting MicroStrategy, but I mean, that looks a little bearish, guys, gals. Netflix really want to see this level up here. Do we get it? I don't know. Roblox, I mean, had good data. This is not what you see when things are good. You don't pull straight back. Tesla, I mean, talking about union, all sorts of bad stuff. We said 4-day range in the 20-day. You're welcome. Some really good trades out there talked about. Nucor said watch up near the 20-day, 50-day. Sorry, not 20, 50-day. Got it. Failed. I mean, again, if you were patient, and I talked about this patience, just because you get stopped out of shorts doesn't mean you just give up on shorts. I mean, you just got to be patient. Every day, just let it play out. And maybe today, yesterday, early this week wasn't the day to short. Save your capital, save your mental, emotional capital. Looking good. Caterpillar, I mean, the thing is probably cooked. Remember, we talked about China, I mean, their exports falling off a cliff. FedEx, watch the 20-day. It looks like it's about to break. Costco did not get the 570 level, so I shorted more tech. Well, that looks good to go down if you're in it. VALE, yeah, we talked about material names. Just keep an eye on them. 200-day, probably going to fall. Arrow every day. I mean, it looks like solar. CCJ, retesting, but with a lower high. Keep an eye on that. Could, again, material names, I don't trust them. Maybe uranium's the one off that doesn't play out, but all these other names, I think they all get slammed. Phi Slamma Jamma. Look at Mosaic. I saw that thing up. Yeah, I was like, wow. And then it gave it right back. NTR, AA, all of this stuff, right? First, but not last. No, sorry. Financials. What do we say? Love to get up here, but watch what's going on up here. It looks like we're about to get puked on. We talked about JP Morgan waiting. Anything over like the 145s, you're welcome. Absolute stunner. So maybe it needs to trap up here. Maybe even the 0.618, but here again, we filled the gap and look what happened. Sellers showed up. Morgan Stanley, I still can't believe someone would even want to go long this one. This is like one of the worst names out of all of them. Gives you a little pop. Here it's going to flop. Goldman, we talked about, or Bank of America, sorry. Would have loved to have seen it gone higher, but this thing's just rolling over, filling the gap. Definitely a turd. Goldman Sachs, watching the 100-day channel, 0.618. Just kind of is what it is. Carry, we said keep an eye on this, right? Like, holy crap. All it was is just a gap and coming right back. I mean, I'm impressed. Some of these moves are just absolutely like, they just hold no water. Look at the XBI, like railroad tracks. Doop, 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 and then boom. No love. We said watch some of these other ETFs like the XLB, right? Making new lows. The highs. XLI industrials, same thing. Hits the 50-day. We talked about IYT, right? The industrials, transports, multi-day ranging, chopping, housing. Uh-oh. Right? Multi-day range and then failing 50-day. Retail, not good. Just dead cat bounces everywhere. Meow. Solar, just nothing. Nothing burger. Hits a 20-day fail. Sedge. Man, these names have been beaten so much again. I just keep an eye on them to see how badly they're going to get beaten. First Solar prayed for a bounce. Not getting it. HYG, what do we say? Watch the 74s. Uh-oh, not looking good. Oil, as we talked about, we're at potentially an area where we should bounce. Will it? UNG, same kind of thing. It should bounce. Will it? I don't know. XOP, again, I like the drip. We've talked about this. We broke the channel. We take out the range lows, you know what's coming next, player. Again, if you bought the drip down in the 930s. I mean, I guess it did get down there, but we were buying it down here. Oh, yeah. Congrats. Congratulations. So, ExxonMobil, this one better hold. Better hold. I mean, you got a multi-day range at the 102s. MPC, we said this thing was toast, double top. If it breaks the trend, oh my gosh. Valero, we said this thing is toast, right? Gasoline demand, breaking the lows. Adios, amigos. Occidental, we talked about it, hitting the Buffett fly zone. Gone. EQT, everybody's like, oh, buy it at 39. Okay, we'll see what happens here. If it breaks the 39s, because it clearly is not holding the 44s. I mean, I don't have to be a rocket therapist to draw a trend line. I mean, we're breaking trend, homies. Somebody was trolling me saying, oh, I'll buy it back at 39. No, be careful. Flex LNG, again, we like this long term because I think we will be exporters of natural gas. So what can you learn about the last couple days or weeks? Great trades down, stopped out of shorts, was patient, extremely patient, waited, said, guess what? We might have some more follow through up because of, guess what? The seasonality wreckers will just come out screaming. Then you have short covering. Again, we talked about this. The market is not easy. But if you can define your risk, take your time, be patient, and wait. Like we talk about novice gaps. You saw it today in the markets. These novice gaps everywhere. Love to see it. After a big up move, just like a down move, a novice gap at the low can be a sign of extreme to flip. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Use the Calendly link below if you want us to talk, hang out 30 minutes to help you out. Again, I appreciate all the love, support, shares, the likes, comments, whatever. Leave feedback. And again, if you leave a solid little donation, I appreciate it. Even the guys who are like, here, buy a weed gummy. It makes me laugh. I appreciate it because, again, there's a lot of work to be done here, but ultimately you're the one doing all the work. And hopefully in the end, you're saving money, learning, you're doing the best you can because your tuition hopefully is not going to be as expensive as mine. So also, too, hit me up about real estate. It's getting a little dicey out there. People are like, oh, real estate's going to be fine. I'm like, it's going to get a little scary for a minute. All right, holler at your boy. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.